But Trump's campaign is already saying it will file a legal objection to the decision. Earlier this month, the Colorado Supreme Court booted Trump from the ballot there, but he is back on the ballot for now after the Colorado Republican Party appealed the decision. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to make a final decision on the issue early next year. And let's now bring in CTV News political analyst Eric Ham in the conversation. Eric, great to have you once again on the story. Thank you for your time.
It's good to be here.
So it's happening, as we've been discussing for the past few days. It was Colorado and now it's Maine. How is this looking for Trump?
Yeah, and then we just got word that California's Secretary of State has also ruled that Donald Trump actually can stay on the primary ballot in that state. So we're seeing mixed results in very different states. And that's why many people are now not only clamoring for, but also believe that the Supreme Court is needed to actually provide some uniformity to what we're seeing play out, because this is becoming clearly a state-by-state case for Donald Trump. But if Maine and Colorado are to be a trend, that could pose tremendous problems for Donald Trump as he looks to begin the process of wrapping up the nomination in just a matter of weeks.
But Eric, explain this to us. Many people are asking today that the president has not been convicted in the case. He's been indicted where the insurrection case is concerned. So how can states go ahead and invoke the clause and not have him on the ballot if he has not been proven guilty?
Well, we have to remember, in the Constitution, the framers actually said that anyone that holds office, anyone that holds an office and has taken the oath that has been involved in either a seditious or rebellious act against the government is not eligible. So this is no different than having to meet those base requirements for the presidency, which means you have to be a naturalized citizen and you have to be over the age of 35. In addition to that, you have to be someone who has not been involved in a seditious or rebellion act. It doesn't say that you have to be convicted or even indicted. So these are actual requirements for running for office. It doesn't say anything about the criminality of being involved in a insurrection or a seditious act, which of course now the courts will have to decide, in fact, Donald Trump's determination of if he was involved. But to be clear, in the case of Colorado, there was an investigation into Donald Trump's actions on that fateful day.
Okay, so let's discuss the options here where the apex court is concerned. Do you see this, adding more pressure on the Supreme Court? And also not to forget that the court that we are talking about already has a conservative majority.
Well, yes, it's becoming more and more likely that the Supreme Court is going to be more, not less, involved in what happens as it relates to the 2024 presidential election next year. They are now not only going to be potentially weighing whether or not Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for his actions as president of the United States, but they also have to decide, in fact, if he is eligible. They now have to determine his base qualifications beyond just naturalization and age, but also looking at his actions surrounding January 6th. And more importantly, weighing if, in fact, the states themselves have a right to determine Donald Trump's eligibility. So these are questions that the highest court in the land is going to have to weigh, because this is uncharted territory for not only the states, but for the country.
Yeah, this is, of course, historic for sure. But before I let you go, Eric, we know that any sort of attack on Donald Trump, whether it is legal or political, he has a way of using it to his own advantage in his campaigns and his rallies. Do you believe that all of this that is really going on will only galvanize his supporter base further?
Well, we have to look at this from the lens of both the legal ramifications as well as the political ramifications. Donald Trump has been a master since that first indictment in how he has used these criminal attacks against him to benefit him politically. But again, because this is now a legal matter, it actually moves out of the political realm, and it could be detrimental to his political ambitions.
All right, we leave it at that for now. Eric Ham, CTV News political analyst. Appreciate your analysis, Eric. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.